Insights with Terri Ep.240, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Ep.240. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Ep.240. Thanks for joining me to explore together the week of October the 12th through the 19th, 2025. Again, thanks so much for your time. I'm so grateful. That's a big thing to offer somebody their time. Now, Libra is still, and I'm not going to beat this to death, Libra is still in the sun sign. It has been for a couple of weeks, and it will be for a little longer. And it's still in Venus, the planet of awareness and attraction and partnerships. Now, that's a nice place for Libra to be. Libra is an energy field on its own that cherishes relationships and partners and a nice environment that invites hospitality and homey kind of feeling. So when we pair that with the sun sign, this is a great time. Thanksgiving, isn't this wonderful? We get to enjoy Thanksgiving with our family, and we have that Libra energy to make it even greater. So how does it get any better than that? And then Mercury, the planet of the mind, how we think, how we communicate, that's in Scorpio, along with it in Mars, and Mars is the planet of our drive and our passion. So Scorpio is that dive deep, get to the bottom of things. Let's look at things realistically. Let's not play around and pretend we are not having a problem if there is a problem. So it's really the planet of really looking at things in a way of reality. And the beginning of the week, as far as our vulnerable body parts are the middle of the week, the beginning of the week to the middle of the week, the vulnerable body part is going to be our heart, the aorta, your blood pressure, your blood circulation. So if you have any issues in that area, just take special care for that. We don't want anybody having any aorta problems. And then that can move down to the tummy towards the end of the week, and then migrating to possibly kidney and bladder. So those are the ones that are vulnerable for this week. And if you have that issue at the beginning, just be very careful of it. And with Thanksgiving and indigestion, I guess we're going to have to look at our ways of ingesting food. The new moon is going to be next week. The new moon's coming on Tuesday the 21st, and that's going to be in Libra. New moon always offers us opportunities to look at things new, to maybe create new behaviors, have new thoughts, to work with things in another way, which is, I think it's kind of a reset, which is probably what we need. Now, as I said with that Scorpio energy, Scorpio lets us dive deep. And Scorpio is natural in the 7th house. The 7th house is about death. It's about things coming to an end. And what I think that the universe is trying to make clear for us is to try to guard against letting fear rule us and become the main thing in our thinking or our feeling, because that then becomes our life. So when we're trying to manifest something, when we're trying to look at something and make that work in our life, I think what we have to really look at is, what do I fear? So that we're aware of it, and how much am I thinking of this, and am I making that the center part of my life? Now, when I was younger and I began to learn that I could attract things by how I thought about them, what I thought about them. I also learned, the animals taught me actually, that the more emotionally tied to something I was, the stronger it came at me, or the stronger the essence of it was. So if I was working energy work on an animal, Reiki, and healing hands, if that animal was hurt and I really had a need to fix that animal, the stronger that need was, that stronger that passion was, the more focused and concentrated that energy was. So what I learned is I'm going to attract what I feel just as much as what I'm trying to organize my thoughts and thinking. So then I had to look at, and that's what maybe we are supposed to be doing with this Scorpio energy and Libra energy, is what are others telling us about what we can do or what we can't do? And then looking at what are you capable of, not what they tell you you're capable of. What are you capable of? And to really know what's in your heart. Your heart is not going to lie to you. That is one thing hearts don't do, is they don't lie to us. They tell us the truth. And they'll tell us, we know what we're capable of doing. And sometimes it's hidden and we have to dig for it a little bit. But I think they're trying to let us understand, what have you been given as a talent? I know that you know it inside, but I think it has to float to the surface now for so many people. And the opinion of other people doesn't matter. If you can feel it and you know it, don't let other people stop you from it. I couldn't tell you how many times I was told, I mean, bear in mind my age, and at, a million years ago, women weren't supposed to do this and women weren't supposed to do that. And that was not a woman's job. And if I listened to that, I would have done 1/3 of the things that I did do. So we have to look at, you are the only one that can stop you. Don't let other people stop you. And that wisdom, that knowing, that sense of self, that comes from a place of the source. And you'll start to know the difference. Whether it's ego from your perspective or control from other people or the source. The source will help us understand things correctly. It's a higher level. And you know it. You know when it's not coming from you. You know when it's coming from outside of you. That's the source. And I know, sometimes these thoughts that come into my head or an answer that will come into my head, I know it's not coming from me. I don't think that way. I don't speak that way. I completely recognize that that's coming from outside of me. So, being self-employed for a bazillion years like I have been, I always see my bank account a certain way, like with a certain amount. And it's funny because I'm self-employed. You never know from day to day, right? The phone could stop ringing any minute. And it's funny how these self-employed checks always come in, or e-transfers now. I guess I should get up with the times. If I need a parking spot in a certain place, I picture it. It never fails, honestly. I think once I had to go around the block. And a couple of times, I went around the block a couple of times, but I usually always get the parking spot where I'm looking. It's always lucky. I always say, I'm so lucky, I'm so lucky, I'm so lucky. So that's how we are supposed to be approaching things. Exactly. What do you want to see? And then that becomes an order, so to speak, a request to the universe. And you'll get what you believe is going to happen. I believe I'm going to get a parking spot. I believe that my business is going to be successful because I care about the people that I work with. I truly care. That, for me, is more important than the money. The money is a wonderful side effect, and I am so grateful for it. But that's not why I do it. Why I do it is because I'd like to help people in any way I can. So you need to be careful to have a clause when you're manifesting that make sure that you say this, that I only want this job, or I only want this if it's good for everybody, not just me, but everybody. If this is intended by the universe to happen. So in that case, I'm flexible. And we have to learn to operate in gratitude, and that focuses us on what we have. And we have to learn to operate in faith and compassion. And basically what you're doing is you're giving your life over to the universe to let them work it out better than we could work it out ourselves. And then you become in perfect alignment, and you start listening to those billboard signs that you see, to that conversation that you hear, that like, where, how did that happen? Where did that come from? That movie, that part in the movie that happens to speak to you for a moment, and allow that something to happen in your life. That's how it works. If you look at some of the celebrities and the athletes and the entertainers, they believe in the power of the mind. The mind is brilliant. Use it. We don't even know the power of it yet. Our job is to trust it. I, in my heart, believe I'm here for a purpose. We all have a purpose, a soul's purpose. So I believe that I am here for a purpose. And once you believe in that purpose, I apologize for my dog coughing in the background. He's recovering from, no use me yelling at him. Nobody coughs on purpose. He gets this in the fall, always. So I believe that I'm here for a purpose. Maybe listening to my dog cough and then offering him some essential oils that help him within a 24-hour period, or a little bit of honey. And once we believe in that purpose, for me, it's understanding the body, the canine body, the horse body, the duck body, people's body. Then there's nothing that changes that vocabulary in my head. I know that that is my purpose. And you are being tasked now. Maybe you know your purpose. Use it. Or maybe you're trying to find your purpose. Then go out and find it. I've been in contact with people that have had NDEs and near-death experiences. And even looking at them on YouTube and reading books on it. These people, basically, when you sift it all down, come back with the same message. And that message is love, it's kindness, and it's compassion. They all come back with the same message. Because at this point, too, our society is being taken to one of the lowest levels possible. And we want answers. We want to know why this is happening. Sometimes we feel if we look to our leaders, our politicians, they have the answers. But I'm not sure. Because I'm looking at some of the leaders, and I don't see any answers in them. And I'm looking at some of the politicians, and I certainly don't see any answers in them. And I'm looking at some of the floods, and the fires, and the earthquakes, and the storms. And sometimes it feels like we're falling apart. It sometimes feels like our world is falling apart. But I'll tell you something. I'm going to be one of the first people on that line helping other people. And that's our job, is to show up and to be good to others. On the other side of this experience that we're having in this physical world, there is no gay, there is no black, there is no Muslim, there's no Christian, there's no wealth, there's no poor. Spirit is all there is. On the other side, what you feel is the essence of love. That's it. I would say, in my humble opinion, that most of our leaders are off right now. And those that have the power are the ones that are dividing by putting us in these categories. And that's so wrong. On the other side, in the other dimension that many people work with, it's very simple. Love, kindness, unity. That's it. We're here to help. We're not here to be angry. We're not here to always be angry, but we are always angry lately. Many of us. And we become so immune desensitized. Maybe it's the video games, I don't know. It's become me, myself, my world, my job, my money, my relationship, my life, my career. And we've lost a physical togetherness. Maybe it was COVID was a trigger. I don't know. But we really have to look at it. It's not the world that's screwed up. I think the leaders are screwed up, basically around the world. So I believe in my heart that most people are really good people. And those people who screw up are screwing up because they're greedy. They're not putting the value on what they should be. They say they're kind, but they're not. They're hypocritical. They say they're going to help us, but they help themselves. And we know it. But we follow them anyway. How weird is that? So who's going to help us? You and I. And we start with, first, how can I contribute to the shift of kindness to humanity? How may I be of service today? How may I be of service to the earth? That should be our mantra. I planted seeds today. So silly. Pulled them from my linden tree, gathered them all up. I dried them all up, and I got them all put away, and I'm going to plant them. I'll soak them before I plant them, and I'm going to try to time it with the full moon, not during a new moon that's coming up, full moon. And so, who knows? Maybe one little tree will grow from those seeds. But I just want to be in service to the earth. It's not a vegetable. I'm not going to gain from this tree. Well, maybe I will. It'll offer me oxygen. So when I'm praying, or maybe our mantra, I try not to ask for money. I try not to ask for the job. I try not to ask for that stuff. I have. Please, please let me work in this area, and only if it's going to be for the good of everybody, not at the cost of anybody. But I try to make it a little bit higher. I try to see how could I be of service in that cosmic maturity. I want to be cosmically mature because I'm so immature in so many other areas. So think of your life as a blueprint if you can. If you were building a house, compare it to maybe that. If you were building a house, my husband and I built this house. We didn't contract it out. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, but we did it. Anyway, in spite of ourselves. But there's a system. So we found out there's a system to building the house. You don't put the windows in before you do the framework. And you have to get the foundation in, and the foundation has to be right. So, and that's before the roof goes on or the floor. There's a system. And then everything falls into place with that system. So we have to first start with, what can I do? So I guess where we are now, what can I do to help? What can I do for others? It doesn't have to be big. And then you're going to start to see your talent. When you start working with others, for others, you start to see what you're good at. What is my talent? Know it and move towards that. If you do, you'll be successful. Be ready to see the signs. Be ready to listen. To let your intuition guide you. It sounds simple. It is. And it isn't. And it is. So here's where we have to trust. Here's where we have to have faith. And here is where determination is going to come in. So this week, with that Scorpio energy and that Libra energy, What are you going to do? And that new moon coming for all these new behaviors and new opportunities and new ways of thinking and new repatterning. What are you going to do? Are you going to find your talent? Are you going to look at it? What are you going to do with that? This is your book, your life book. You get to edit it. You get to work it. You get to write it. Who do you want in your life? Who do you not want in your life? What type of people bring you peace and harmony and help you to feel good? Who do you help to feel good? All of that is right in front of us, waiting for us. So on that note, that's going to be your homework this week, kids. It's going to be my homework too. I'm going to be more conscious of it. I'm going to work at it a little harder every day, hopefully. I want to be a better person tomorrow than I was today. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I keep trying. Every day I keep trying. So on that note, the good man that I would like to thank is Charlie O'Brien for putting us on Spotify and Apple and Amazon, SoundCloud, and YouTube. And he does that with his good heart. And I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to me blab. I appreciate it. There's nothing more that I treasure more than the time that somebody spends with me or offers me. That is something they'll never get back. And it's priceless, just like the commercial. So if you would like a reading for yourself, or you would like me to help you with your animal, feel free to call or text 519-726-6699, or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com, and tune in to Charlie O'Brien's big8radio.com. He streams all of the oldies, and if you want to feel good and go back in time, get some exercise, do some dancing, that's what to listen to. Alrighty, thanks everybody. Talk to you next week. Have a wonderful week. I hope you have some good opportunities coming your way. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.